Hi, booked in another episode of That's the Thing 2 Overture. It's episode 28, and it is Wednesday, July the 27th.
Oh, it's 26th.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Sorry,
it's easier for me. I'm looking at like my computer. It has the
I
date.
my watch has the date on it, but there's a little bit of glare stuff going on. The 5 looks like a
No, I
6.
hear ya. Oh, I hear ya. But there's a lot of garbage to talk about. A
Yep.
lot. Tell me about job interviews, Drew.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Everyone, I think, gets stressed out when they have a job interview.
Oh, of course.
What would I what would you do if I told you I had one simple trick to prepare for any job interview?
I would put a YouTube face. I would get me like pogging at the channel, and then I'd have Drew looking smug and have an arrow pointed to you, and it says one trick.
Just have the same exact identical job interview the day before.
With the same people?
Almost.
Okay, that's weird.
It's so I had two different interviews with Austin Community College. Uh Notable for its alumni Alex Jones.
Oh hell yeah! Did you go
But
in
so I
there?
had
Did you go in there beat red?
so I didn't know that he was an alumni until I think going into the second interview. Uh, but so it was both for the same position, just with different branches. And so like I had one last week on Wednesday, and I was like, that would fine. That's basically the job I'm already doing for like where I'm at. It's just for a different place. Uh, and then like Thursday morning, I had my job interview for the other campus. And it hit me Thursday morning. I was like, it's all part of the same system. And having been involved in the hiring process at my current job, I'm like, there's a certain amount of automation to these hiring committees. What if it's the same questions? What if it's the same exact
Oh, I
questions?
suspect it is, especially if you're in education. Like when I was doing school stuff, I would have like 3 to 4 interviews for different positions, and they were like the same people and the same questions, which led me to realize that I was eternally like backup number two, where like I would show up and I would sit down and answer the same questions, and because it's like obviously they know who I am. I mean, even people at like the drive-through, they know who you are. If you
Yeah.
keep going, like even on like a semi-regular
Yep.
basis, they're gonna know. Okay, that guy
Yep.
always gets this.
Yep. Yep. It's like, oh, it's Kevin. Kevin's coming in for an interview.
All right, yep, he'll be choice number three, and I was always choice number three. Which, to be fair, they were correct. It would have been a bad idea to put me as choice number one. I would not have done it. I'm very lazy.
I'm cutting in and out. Can
That's
you hear me?
okay. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay.
complaining.
Okay. No, so I heard you. I love like going in, always being choice number two or choice number three.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's
but
basically
so
it.
third, but so Thursday, after that interview, I think it was like 90 minutes later, I got an email offering me the job pending a background check, and I was like, man,
Hell
that's
yeah.
sick.
Uh oh, but what if this is on your background check?
Oh
Oh no.
no, got some questions to ask you about. That's a thing. Anything you disagree with, Kevin said it. Anything you agree with, I said it.
Listen, for any potential future employers, this show is entirely a bit.
Yep.
This is all fiction.
Yep.
We're
We're in
similar,
character.
yeah, similar to community college like alumni Alex Jones. This is all a bit.
I thought you were gonna say like Tucker Carlson.
No, no, because that was wasn't that was like his bit though.
That's what Fox News said when they were getting sued.
A lot of them have said that. Like, I think Rachel
Yep,
Maddow said it too.
yep. It's you can't take this seriously. No sane person listening to this program thinks it's for real.
It's all a bit.
Yeah.
Who would which part of me, like, honestly, part of me loves that defense.
I don't, because it's like if you're gonna have if you're gonna put this on the air, you better have the stones to support it.
Well, okay, so like I love the defense in theory, but in practice I don't. It's one of those. Like
Yeah,
I adore
yeah,
the idea of like, no, I'm too stupid that there's no reason why people would think this is real. But no,
yeah,
that's actually not the thing. You're not doing
yeah.
that.
That's the only support. That's the only case could be made is no, no, Your Honor, it couldn't be. It's clearly joking.
It was just a
And then
prank, bro.
and then you want Star Platinum to ora them.
Yeah. Oh man, that's good. What's the deal with Rashid's thing? I saw
Okay,
like
so did you see this glitch?
I saw the glitch where like the guy was like blocking it and it just chipped forever and it chipped him
Yeah,
out to death.
so yeah, Rashid's tornado super, like his V trigger from Street Fighter 5,
Yeah.
if you do it and they block it, you just keep walking into them and pushing them slightly further away from it.
Oh, and it just
And just,
doesn't go away.
yep.
Cuz I was wondering, I'm
And
like,
so
isn't the way to deal with that like the tornado falls away? Like I thought that thing lasted for like 3 seconds or something.
yeah, so I don't know exactly how it's programmed or what like the problem is, but yeah, so if you don't nudge them, it hits some and then it goes away. But
Yeah.
if you just keep nudging them, and like the clips always show like him straight walking, but I've seen somewhere it's like no, he just nudges and then he stops, and he nudges and he stops, and it gets way more chip damage, like beyond 80%.
So I guess there must be some kind of like how it's programmed where like due to the fact that it moves or something, it's like resetting some kind of like counter
Yeah.
because they don't
So
want
I
him.
don't.
What makes me think is because when he's inside of it, because he's always been like inside of it, that they don't want it
Uh
to
huh.
have the situation where the game had like Rashid is what happens when he's inside of the tornado and it disappears. Do I give him the buff? That kind of
But
thing.
so, but so what's weird about it though is like Dormammu's ball in Marvel goes away after a set number of hits.
Yeah, that's how I assume it would be.
Trish's Round Harvest super goes away after like a set time period. Like it's not so like two different very similar supers to this one. Like so I don't understand how this one's coded.
Yeah, it's weird because you'd think it'd be like, okay, this goes away after like 3 seconds or 5 hits, whichever comes first. Or how many hits it has. I don't know. Usually it's like 10. Sometimes it's like a bop, 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 bop.
Um, and then also JP's command throw had a glitch on it too for this patch for like if it like hit a projectile at just the right spacing or something, I don't know. Like it would happen and he would recover while animation was still going, so he could then like
Oh,
set up stuff and
he can move in the
keep the
frozen
combo going.
time.
Yeah, he had the world.
Okay, well that I mean that's thematically appropriate. I would add that
But
in as
both of
like a
those got
perfect
like
parry-esque like
yeah.
1 frame window.
So Rashid came out late last week,
It was like a Saturday.
or yeah,
I haven't played Rashid
yeah,
yet.
and then yeah, and then they patched it last night. Like that was the turnaround between it being discovered and them being like, oh, we need to fix this and fixing it.
I approve. I'm glad. I always like emergency fixes and bans and whatever. Like do that. Like cuz that was clearly busted. That's not like, "Oh man, look at this like crazy throw setup." This was like, "No, he can just do it and just walk at you."
And then yeah,
Your only
And then they
recourse is to eat
also
it.
did it with the like the no, because that also leads to like 60 or
Well, that's what I mean.
70%
It's
damage.
basically like, okay,
Yeah,
so once he does the super, you're either gonna block it and he's gonna kind of walk at you and it's going to go forever, or you're going to like eat the full combo basically.
yeah. So there's no winning
No, it's the
except
ultimate
for
option
Rashid.
select.
Yeah, and okay, that's the other thing. Like, whenever someone discovered that throw option select, where you can like mash the like it was for classic controls only. You could like mash
Yeah, it was like
uh
the modifier
like
button.
input assistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could mash that and like all three punches or something, and like you would just get throws. You just get throw select, and it didn't nothing came out. It was just no. Here you go, perfect.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm trying to give Nolan some time before I talk about the big news. Is
Yeah, I'm fine to just kind of
so
slowly linger
I
on.
want to talk about analog horror video I saw called Vita Carnis. It's pretty good. It's one of
Is this
those
the new Taco Bell item?
that actual no, but also kinda. So like Vita Carnis, aka Living Meat or Live Meat, is one of those analog horror kind of like we found the crazy VHS of like monsters. But what sets it apart is in two ways. One, the person making it has made like rather adorable like puppets for the monsters, so they're not all just like either bad CG or like
Low poly
low poly
pixels.
like clixels or whatever. Like they made like there's enough effort where you look at that thing, you're like, oh, that's cute, but also impressive that they made it. So I respect it. And the story is not trying to be like, oh man, it's really scary. It's more like here's like this interesting weird thing. Like there are some of them, but it's not like
Is this a video game or a YouTube
oh, this is like a
thing?
YouTube thing.
Okay, because I googled it and I thought it popped up something for a video game. I was like, I'm
Well,
not digging more into this.
no, but that it's like a YouTube, one of those YouTube things that I like looking at. And
Yeah,
I gotta say, like, it's pretty good. The story is not like the demon. Basically, the story is not the demons from hell, or they're it's made of dead children. So I give that like big props. And it's kind
it's
of
already got an advantage coming into life.
dude, like okay, so I can kind of segue also into like my friendly neighborhood because as the self appointed guy who needs to know what the babies are looking at. Like,
What the babies are scared of.
yeah, like my friendly neighborhood, I'm gonna go so far as to say it may be the Silent Hill 2 of baby horror because it has a story, it has themes to the story, gameplay, and I'm like, oh, that's impressive. Multiple endings that are like, okay, the whole so what do you know about my friendly neighborhood?
Nothing,
Okay.
literally nothing.
So my
I don't
friendly
keep up with. I
oh, you don't
see
keep
these things occasionally through like my online Google search job. That's the only reason I know about Blinky and whatever the blue thing
oh,
is.
you mean Huggy Wuggy?
Sure,
You mean
that's
Poppy's
and
Playground?
I sure
Yeah, no,
I've
I
seen that,
know it. Oh, I know it.
and so I do not do anything on my own into any of these subjects.
All right, so let me talk about my friendly neighborhood. So the
I
premise
know
is
as much about Huggy Wuggy as I do about Glorilla.
well, you're a better person for it. Anyway, so like my friendly neighborhood, aka what I am gonna declare the peak of baby horror currently, is like effectively there is a Sesame Street show, and everything was going pretty good. The only difference in this world is like similar to how like the Muppets are in the world of the Muppets. Like the puppets are quote unquote alive in this one. Like they're not like possessed. They're not like
Yeah,
evil. They're just like, yo, if you were walking
the
down,
Muppets.
yeah, like if you see Kermit and Kermit is there and you talk to Kermit, Kermit's just a thing. He's just a Muppet. That's kind of how the operating works. The only difference is that, similar to kind of like you would imagine the Muppets, they're far more innocent and impressionable, which means that like as our times have gotten more quote unquote like the reality has not been shielded from the puppets, that they've gotten kind of messed up as more and more horror has been inflicted upon them.
They're
Similar,
taking the red pill.
basically. And also, I mean, you can kind of, because it's kind of mirroring the fact like in not in the most subtle way, but like how as we're
What's for
plugged in,
babies? Babies don't know subtle.
no, they don't. Well, obviously because they're babies, but it's kind of like how we're in our 24/7 news and like political cycle. How it's made
Yeah.
everyone go nuts. It kind of made all the puppets go nuts when like they're just because there's a thing where they're like they didn't let us watch all the TV channels, but when they left, we turned it on, and oh no. And part of it is like your character can kind of like help the puppets and talk through them, and
Oh,
their issues kind of also mirror the main guy's issues of like loneliness and like trauma, and he kind of by helping them get over it, he's kind of helping himself get over it by saying like, you know, you need to talk to someone about like your problems, you just can't hit things with the hammer. Oh, which, you know, for like one of these kinds of games, it's like Shakespearean. You're like, oh
yeah,
man,
no, yeah, straight up. That's a
like
level of
like
depth you don't expect.
no. And like the gameplay has like a Resident Evil 4-esque attaché case, and like, and you get your weapons, but they're all the weapons are like specifically stupid and non-violent because that's what works. Dude, I mean they're Muppets. It's like a gun isn't going to work, but like a silly little note card, like kind of shooter thing, that's what stops them. Just that's just how it is, and you're like, okay. And there's endings depending on did you help all the puppets, did you leave, how'd it go, and I
Oh,
got,
that's good.
and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. You're like, this is okay. I appreciate the effort and I appreciate the idea as someone who by his own volition looks at these things. It's like, you know what? That's all right. I'm glad that like a kid who's interested would actually get like a game with a story instead of crap like Huggy Wuggy or Bindi and the Ink Machine, which is just like garbage.
Yeah.
Like just garbage with garbage, and you're like, oh man, it's like because I like kind of to piggyback off of this to talk about Skibbity Toilet, which I know about
To
because
talk about garbage.
yeah, I watched Vinny Vinesauce. That's how I found out about Skibbity Toilet because he did a stream where he's like, "What the hell is Skibbity Toilet?" And basic, so like
And what the hell is Skibbity Toilet?
so Skibbity Toilet is actually not that hard to understand because it's just like source filmmaker weird kind of shit post. Like that's all it is. But for some reason, the algorithm picked it up and started shoving it everywhere. It's one of those where like the guy who makes it has been making like here's like San Andreas models and Steam filmmaker doing weird stuff. Hello, Nolan. I am talking about Skibbity Toilet.
Uh,
How do you know about? Do you know about Skibbity Toilet?
yeah, I saw it like forever ago.
Okay, but
Couple weeks ago, and I went, "What is this?" I'm like, "Okay," and then I went right past it.
yeah, I'm just trying to explain because I watched all of it, and basically it's just Steam filmmaker that got picked up by the like source filmmaker that got picked up by the algorithm. Like we've seen, like I feel like when I'm looking at it, like it is well done for for what it is. Like, but it's not like this is not like some kind of new paradigm shift. This is like, oh, okay, yeah, we were watching like Team Fortress 2 style of these videos in like
Mm-hmm.
2008.
Yeah, this is like a 2008 viral video.
Yeah,
Like, what is it?
Skibbity Toilet.
No. Like, Numa Numa or
Yeah.
the
My closest
what's
would be,
the He-Man one?
oh, hey, what's
Yeah,
going on? I would say it's more
yeah.
like that Squirrel King fan fiction with Half-Life characters. Because it's still like, it's like
Hmm.
vaguely like, oh yeah, like John Freeman over here. It's basically that, but for the current age.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're like, yeah, all right, here's the G-Man, and he's making a weird face and shooting eyeball lasers. And you're like, yep.
Look, I looked. So when you put it in there, I looked at it today. I didn't know it had like almost 100 million
Oh yeah, that's
views.
the thing. That's
I'm like, what
the
the fuck?
fascinating is like it's because the algorithm picked up on it for some reason. And like when I watched Vinny Vine Sauce's like stream, he showed like all of the shovelware Android games and mobile ads that are trying to like, because these people, they just see like popular thing and then they plug it into their like cookie cutter like dance walking mini game, and then they just put like the toilets in there, like which what would before be like Marvel, Spider-Man, Pokemon, whatever. It's like the newest thing, but the newest
Oh
thing
yeah,
is just
yeah.
this.
Spider-Man, Elsa.
Yeah, well, basically where they'd be like
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man Run or whatever, because like Spider-Verse came out, but due to the algorithm kind of self-competing, now it's like Skibbity Toilet Run, and you're like, oh. So I think that is very very bizarre. I watched all of it though. It's okay.
The fuck?
It's
Why didn't
okay.
you watch all of it?
Cuz it was like 20 minutes. Like these are like 5, these are like 30
Oh no,
to,
I saw there were 50 of them. And I saw they were like really short. I watched the first one and I went, I'm
yeah,
good.
I was like I was like okay, it was so like full complete collection and it was like 20 minutes. So I'm like okay, I'll watch it. And I watched all of it. I'm like all right. So now I know like the vague lore of the Skibbity toilets. How the Skibbity toilets are fighting the cameramen.
Oh, good. Now you're on the cutting edge
Oh yeah.
of the memes.
Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
also, I know what the kids are into. That's part of, you missed that discussion, me talking about what the kids are into. How I declared uh my friendly neighborhood the Silent Hill 2 of baby horror because there is gameplay and a story with themes. So what are you up to, Nolan?
Oh, I've mainly just been watching a lot of stuff. Uh, Most importantly, Radiant is the Blood of the Baboon Heart, the new Venture Brothers movie.
Tell us about the Venture Bros.
Oh God, it's good. It's still good. Still the
I have
best
not
writing
watched it
around,
yet.
hands down.
I think there is a sadness to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Oh yeah.
well, it's like there's just there is this kind of sadness where I've been having like I've been watching and reading and stuff where I'm like this can't happen anymore, and
No.
it's this very kind of depressing. Like I watched, or me and my dad, we rewatched like that CG Tintin movie, which is actually pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. It's still in
Mm-hmm.
that era of like uncanny realism, but they added enough like stylization to the characters where it's not as like disgusting as the other one, like the Christmas Express, the Polar Express or whatever, where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's like, oh no, they made the captain kind of like bulbousy, like how he's supposed to, and it like cuts back the uncanny a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm like, man, this movie, like, even though it tanked, I'm like, yo, this is just like a sick ass movie. And it's not afraid to have Tintin shooting a gun, like a human gun,
Mm-hmm.
or like the sea captain getting drunk, and that's like part of the plot. And you're like,
Yeah,
well,
it's not afraid to have real characters.
well, it's not afraid to have like real stakes. A
Yeah,
real like, but it's not like excessive. Like you don't see people like getting shot and then exploding and then grasping their wound and going like ah, but you do see like
no one's popping a one-liner.
yeah, no one's saying well that had just happened.
Yeah, that's fun.
But man, it's good. But yeah, like I also like been thinking kind of like about the Venture Brothers and how like that tone I really like, but the Joss Whedon tone I really don't, and kind of just different, kind of like differentiating them in my mind of thinking about like why is it I love the Venture Brothers and why is it like that kind of Marvel like the quote unquote well that just happened like just is repellent. And like my personal theory is that like in the Venture Brothers, it's more like a mundane, normal reaction to something bizarre, and not dismissive. I think like that ironic dismissiveness is what like disappeals.
It
Like
lacks sincerity.
yeah,
Yeah,
or like 21 and 7 was it 21 and 17? Who was it 21 or 24?
24 and
21 and 24.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking. Like I was like my brain. But it's like how they act, they're not like they understand what they're in, but they're not like shitting on it. They're not better than it. But it's more like it's like because I was thinking like also combined with playing like Lobotomy Corporation, which has gotten really stressful. That game is like, oh boy, I can't stream it anymore because there's too many resets and too much garbage. But it's incredible. It is stressful. But like the tone of the Venture Brothers is ideally what I would think of as like the SCP Foundation. That kind of like we're dealing with like monsters and stuff that's very threatening, but also we understand it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I miss it's sad. I feel like we're in this like twilight of things, and then they keep.
I don't know. Maybe just because everyone's getting tired of the Marvel
Yep, they sure are.
sort of setup. I feel like now is the time to we want to see real stuff come back.
I mean, just because I regurgitate all of my opinions from other things, it's like when Red Letter Media on their last like Oppenheimer review were saying that like in the 60s there was like all these like huge built like extreme epics and then they all started to bomb. So in the 70s they were all right, let's make like a smaller scale budget movie that's more intimate and more like niche. And that's how you got stuff like Alien. And like Taxi Driver. You got like good focused movies because when you're going for like the $100 million blockbuster, you can't make it focused, which makes it kind of bland because it has to appeal. Like Avatar: Way of the Water has to appeal to everybody.
Yeah,
you can't have something really cool happening, otherwise like then the parent can't take their kid to it.
look, I can't appeal to a guy. A super alien guy who's punching a bunch of robots.
Yeah. I just don't watch a lot of like if I'm watching a movie, I'm not watching it in a theater.
Most people aren't anymore.
I
Yeah.
don't watch movies in theaters. I don't want
I
to go to a
used
theater.
to watch it a lot. Now it's like nothing. Now I'll either wait for it to come out or if it's something I'm really excited about, I'll maybe catch like a real early show so I don't have to deal with anybody.
All right. I think I've been stalling long
That's
enough.
like
All right,
that's
no,
like
continue.
Into the Spider-Verse, or not into, Across the Spider-Verse. I went to see it in theaters. There's not a lot of movies that I actually care enough about to want to go see in theaters, though.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the major problem is I just don't care about most of them.
And I think part of that issue is the multi-billion like the $100 million movie because you're not going to make it like it has to be so focused that I'm like, I need to see this. But you can't do that if you're trying to appeal. Like, you can't make a movie that appeals to, like, just in generic, like, myself and like a 40, like you can't make a movie that appeals to all of us, but also like a conservative mother of 3 in Utah, and then also like an 18-year-old kid in New York. And we're all like, yeah, we all like that movie. It's not gonna work. Unless there's big CG dinosaurs, then maybe.
And then as soon as you make something that kind of does hit all those demographics, they're gonna milk it to death and beyond,
they're gonna kill it.
You're not gonna care about it anymore.
They're gonna be embarrassed that you liked the first one because you feel tricked. That is currently like where we. All right. I gotta talk about it because I think we can go off on it. Let's talk about the death of Twitter and the birth of X. I hate it.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Nolan that this is Xehanort related. This is very Xehanort related. How Elon has turned Twitter into X, the everything app.
I'm just going to lean into this bit for as long as I can, and then I'm going to give it up.
Well, I think, because I think you're correct. Because if you think about it, like, if you really think about it, I've been pondering this. So in Kingdom Hearts, when someone's heart leaves their body and there's enough like regret or just stuff left over, like the body becomes a nobody and the heart remains. But remember, because Elon is the most divorced man that's ever been, that means when Grimes divorced him or broke up with him, that tore his heart away. So the Elon we are seeing now is the nobody. We are not seeing Elon. We're seeing like Nextloan. That is the
no.
And because it also makes sense with all his like SpaceX rockets or whatever, because we don't have a gummy ship to get to the other worlds to find Kingdom Hearts. So he's trying to do it himself. But unfortunately, he is incompetent, so he can't do it.
Oh, no, that makes sense. That's why when he had his kid with Grimes, he was already
nobody.
Nextloan, so that's why the kid had to have X in his name.
Yeah, he's like X-A-Ether or whatever, because Elon is a nobody. It makes sense. Master Xehanort may be involved. We are not sure. We need to see his eyes, and are they yellow? He might be wearing contacts. We don't know yet. But yeah, it's just stupid. And I hate that, like,
it's just...
I can see, like, my Twitter feed collapsing, and I hate it. And it's... I have started posting on Tumblr again.
Yep, you sure have.
And like, exclusive bandit pics on my Tumblr. But it's just like I hate that social media killed the internet and now like a billionaire's killing it and I don't know what to do. Because like Twitter hits such a specific vibe and like outreach. Like I can't like, okay, and this is just me being vain, incredibly vain. How like I got 3,000 followers on Twitter. But like I'm not gonna get that anywhere else. That's not gonna happen again. I'm not gonna like, for all its ills, like I did make like connections and talk to people that were outside of my social sphere in Twitter, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
but like,
and like it's none of the other social media platforms have the same kind of user base as what Twitter has.
Yeah, and that's to
like
me,
they just don't.
Like even if like because I'm seeing like everyone just disperse, but like I can't go to Blue Sky because I don't have an invite. But even if I did have an invite, it's not like some people are there, and some people went to Mastodon, and some people are on Threads for some reason, and you're just like like the social media doesn't like after the social media singularity, it like dividing back up doesn't quite work because each one of those is like tentative and will be replaced as soon as one like rises above.
Yep. um, it just sucks.
It really sucks. I don't like that. I think like it feels like for the past 20 something years that a billionaire has showed up and ruined something I love. And this has been going on since like the early 2000s. I feel like like and maybe not exactly billionaire, but we can just say like a very rich person shows up and just ruins something I liked.
Fucking Stuart Snyder and Cartoon Network.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, like it's been going like things. It's like progressively everything. Like I'll even say, yo, like Star Wars, it happened to.
Yeah.
And I'm not even counting the millionaire that was George Lucas. Actually, I don't know. Can we count that?
No, because he made the first three that kicked the whole thing off.
Okay.
No. George Lucas's problem is enough people weren't watching him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And telling him no.
Okay, well, no, but that's part of like the rich person issue is that whenever you get rich enough, then you can just start doing idiocy and no one's gonna say no.
I only have psychophants now.
Yep. Once you get like 10,000, once you get enough yes man, you can just start causing problems and no one's gonna stop you because you have enough money.
Well, remember, he tried to make X.com before.
That's the thing.
But then he got kicked out of his company because they're like, this is stupid. No.
He keeps doing
and they became PayPal.
It's also like...
Yeah.
It's also the thing...
And like apparently SpaceX has a whole system for working around Elon so he can't cause fucking problems for them.
I mean, it's... Well, because you can see it. It's like... The best description I saw of him is that he's just Wheatley from Portal 2. He is a stupid thing that is stupid and has stupid ideas and is very upset that he's stupid and his ideas don't work. Like when Wheatley gets plugged into the Aperture Science Facility, like that is just Elon.
Yeah.
When he's just like, I'm so... Everyone's like, no, that's just stupid. He's like, no, I'm not stupid. Here's my test. It's just press the button.
That's
like you're not managing
this will probably send aliens into our dimension. It'll be fine.
You're not managing the core temperature of the facility? Of course not. Hot is good. Whenever it goes up, that means meter goes up. That means it's working even better now. It's like, oh god. But it's just...
He thinks he's gonna turn it into a banking platform.
I am not putting any banking information on that. It's gonna get stolen
immediately. Not at all.
Like that's also it's like it really wants to be Chinese WeChat, but that only works because the Chinese government uses that to censor its population. Like when the government says you have to use this or nothing, that's how it works.
Yeah, but honestly, there should be a government-run social media platform. It shouldn't, it's so crucial in daily lives that it shouldn't be the whims of a billionaire to just buy and kill a thing.
I don't think we should have, I still think return to IRC. Return to it. Return to the V-Bulletin forums. We need to go, like Digimon the movie, we need to go back to
return to the blogs.
I would even say, return to MySpace pages.
Oh, no, blogs are also dying.
Oh, yeah, because...
It's not...
Yeah, blogs...
Go ahead.
Oh, you say it. But there's...
I'm not... Yeah, Google's killing the blogger platform.
Google's also killing Google Search. Google Search is increasingly becoming worthless.
Yeah.
Like, Google used to be good. Like, if you Google search something, you're getting, 3 ads and then the fandom wiki.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, no, I don't need 3 ads in the fandom wiki.
because those are what's SEO.
That's yeah, because they're SEO optimized, and it's like, yo, it's garbage. I hate it.
Uh-huh.
And let's just say, like, if you try using the internet without an ad blocker, like, good
I don't know
lord,
how you do it.
I don't know how you do it. It's
Hell,
rough. It gets real
I
bad.
I recently just like actually realized, oh, Firefox on my phone I can put no script on?
Yep.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah, like yeah, that's why I use Firefox, because I can put like the ad block on it.
Uh-huh.
But man, like it's impossible. Like it's like, because like on my phone, if I go to YouTube and then I get to see what YouTube looks like with no ad blockers and how many ads are in these videos and how many ads and you're like, good lord, like how do you do it? How do you do it?
I can't uninstall it, but I just disabled my YouTube app because I realized, wait, I can just go to the Firefox and go to YouTube on that and say install, and then just use the browser as the YouTube app.
No, yeah.
It's just I don't like the decline. I really don't like the decline. I don't like the decline because simultaneously there's stuff going on I think's really cool. Like it's really frustrating. Because I posted, I watched the gameplay footage of Armored Core 6 and it looks really cool. It looks really, really cool.
Oh, God, it looks how I want to make a game.
I was gonna say it to me. It's giving the feeling of you're the Gundam, and
Just
everyone
seeing
else
that
is
movie,
not.
and
Because
all I can think of is
you are
I gotta
so
touch that.
you are so fast, and you're going up against like the regular ones, and you're flying in there doing like 3 dashes, shooting missiles, and the guy's exploded. And you're like, oh yeah.
Also, yeah, I was thinking about Gundam earlier today because since tweets are now called X's.
No, that was a fake. The Zeets or whatever.
You know what? I'll believe that when it doesn't happen.
Okay.
But so that means a retweet would be an RX. So
oh hell yeah.
And then so it's a Gundam. RX 78.
Like I just can't wait till after this fails and it has to go to the next one, which is Twitter XX.
Yeah, Twitter accent core.
Accent core. Overture. Twitter Xer.
Wait, does that mean he's stealing my naming scheme?
Yeah, yes.
That I stole from Guilty Gear? No, he's not that cool. That's the problem.
No, he's not that cool.
No, like he's.
Well, wait, no, Daisuke is from South Africa.
No, but Daisuke is cool.
I know, but so what else would Elon do but look at the other cool South African and be like, oh, I'm cooler than that.
He's my new character. It's Elon, bad guy. He's the coolest. He is not divorced.
Why are you just St. Cloud from Picture Brothers?
Because that's like how that's how I imagine he talks. Like to me, like because to me to do a proper you got to make his face and you just kind of that voice comes out. But you got to make sure it's not like. But it's not too much. Like you can't do it too much or it turns into Trump because I get the meme. The storm is coming. Because that's how I imagine he is. Like, I imagine he's I'm Elon Musk.
St. Cloud is just
Elon, like
vice versa.
Yeah, like that's how I imagine he's like, I'm going to post another banger today. And then he like tweets like, Doge, what up? Like there's one, it was like people were saying when he posted about like, he's like, I want the logo to be Art Deco, and how you saw it was on his like Twitter feed. He retweeted like a vaguely Art Deco train like minutes before. So like a baby, he has no object permanence. It's just he sees something and goes like, I want it like that. Or if like someone would have posted like a cool looking, I don't know, like fantasy castle, goes, I want it to have the dark fantasy vibes of Berserk. But yeah, I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
everything I love is slowly being killed. It's not cool. But you know what is cool? Our,
What's cool?
our number 3.
The Rick and Morty anime?
No, I was gonna say our video
Rick and
game
Morty new voices?
Rick and Morty Joker.
The Joker?
Rick and Morty also the Joker. We love it. I don't know. Do you want to do our number
The
threes?
Ricker? Yeah, I can do a number 3.
All right, I gotta pull up my thing because I know my number 3.
Yeah, same.
All right, who wants to go?
Oh, one second.
Drew, you can go.
Yeah, I got to throw mine up, so give me 1 second.
All right,
That's
Drew.
fine. My
slam
number 3 is the first game I played from a Hall of Fame video game developer, one Mr. Tim Schafer.
it. Oh,
A
Oh,
little game called Psychonauts.
Psychonauts is pretty good.
that's a good one.
Yeah. This is one where it's like the same way Jet Set Radio is like all style. This one's very much like also all style, very different style. But then it also plays well too.
It's very good until you get to like that final meat level, which I think is a little bit disappointing. But the rest of that game is a baller. Also, it's really fun to do like jump in the air, use your psychic like glide, and then transition instantly into rolling on top of it.
Uh-huh.
I
It's
really-
so good to just be like, it looks good and it's one of those things that you can easily imagine a game not having, even though it's like it's the same ball. Why can't I just put like
That technology says seemingly like not gone until we're getting to like that Penny's Breakout game from the Sonic Mania people, where like the yo-yo does that, where she goes from like swinging on the yo-yo to then like surfing on it, and I'm like, oh man, it's back. The Sonic Mania developers, they knew.
They knew it was good.
It is good. I like the game. I like the stories of it. I like the voice acting.
Oh, the voice acting's so good.
It's very good. I like going into people's brains. I think it was a good length because that was one of the games that I rented and beat, and I felt like
I got disconnected?
oh okay okay well
I'm back.
all right, I'm just talking about that. I like Psychonauts was the game I rented and then I beat on like a weekend because I played a lot of it, and I mean that as a positive, not a negative.
Mm-hmm.
I think the story is
Like
good.
that's one. Uh-huh. And I there's just a ton of character writing in it.
Oh yeah.
I would say that's Tim Schafer's magnum opus.
I
My brain says Grim Fandango, but I haven't played Grim
Yeah.
Fandango.
same. Also like Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, I have played Day of the Tentacle. Day of the Tentacle's pretty
He's got
cool.
like he's got like 3 magnum opuses.
Yeah, he's done a lot. We ignore
Again,
Brutal
there's a-
Legend, which I think is so I think I'm so disappointed about that game.
And
I
That
think that's hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
that everyone wanted like Tim Schafer Heavy Metal Zelda, and what they got was like Tim Schafer Heavy Metal like tactics
Tower defense.
RPG.
RTS.
It's like no.
Like they didn't talk about that aspect of the game in any of the preview coverage.
No, because everyone was
No.
looking at it and there was like, oh yeah, of course, this makes complete sense. I think it was even around. Was it around or like the same time as like the Darksiders, which was
Yeah.
like, so we're like, okay, we already know the formula of not Zelda's gonna work. But it's like, all right, imagine Darksiders but with writing, and you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
how could they lose by not making that game?
Yeah, seriously.
Because I remember that was everyone's coverage and like reviews was like, oh, this is a RTS.
Yeah.
This is not what we signed up for.
Not what anyone expected from Tim.
I didn't play Psychonauts 2.
I have it. I just haven't played it yet.
I mean, it's good, just not as good as Psychonauts 1.
I'm not in that vibe right now. Also, like, part of it is like Psychonauts came out at a time where like I feel, one, I didn't have a backlog of games I need to play, and two, it's just kind of like, all right, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think Psychonauts is really cool, and I'd put it near the top of the list. Like, I'd put it around the 4 to 5 region.
Oh yeah, so like above or below Shadow of the Colossus?
I'm gonna put it above it.
Above Nier Automata?
I'd put it below Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Because I think like Nier Automata is one of the, like, I think Psychonauts and Nier are actually kind of comparable, of like a game with themes and stories but actually plays good. I just think Nier plays a bit better.
Yeah, I think it's also just what's your, do you like a platformer or do you like a combat focus?
Yeah. Also, like, no offense to Tim Schafer, but I like that Yoko Taro, that pushes my buttons a little more than that kind of like better Tim Burton. Like, or I'll say good Tim Burton is like how I describe Tim Schafer.
Yep.
Like how people think Tim Burton is, like, no, that's actually Tim Schafer.
Yeah. That's a good.
That's actually perfect.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Nolan, what's your number 3?
My number 3. So speaking of really good action games, my number 3 is going to be the Wonderful 101.
Ooh.
Maybe the one of the 3 good games on that nightmare console, the Wii U.
Yo, I love the Wonderful 101. That game is sick. It made me cry.
There's so many awesome moments in it. The characters are great. The combat just feels good. The story is just stupid and over the top.
I think what I would say is how we were talking about how the Venture Brothers is sincere. Wonderful 101 is sincere. It is completely sincere. And it's great.
My only complaint for Wonderful 101 is Beautiful Joe wasn't somehow in it.
Yeah, Bayo was in it.
Bayo was in
Beautiful Joe wasn't.
Yeah, you could turn into Wonderful Bayo. But like, yeah, Beautiful Joe should have been there. That's probably Capcom didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I really liked Wonderful 101. I think it escalates. Like, that game continues to escalate, and it's sick.
It's the perfect amount of escalation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like the character. I like it does a lot great.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool.
You have your awesome Virgil moment where
Lord,
the Blue Ranger goes off because
he has
revenge, but in the end he understands that teamwork makes the dream work.
He also understands that the leader is even more of a baller than you would have imagined, because the leader had that exact same thing and he didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
No, he's like, nope, we go by the team. And his was way worse.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
No, his was way worse, and he didn't succumb to rage and hate.
He saw it happen in front of him.
Yeah. It's also cool. There's like a lot of little details in that game, like how the suits get gradually ripped up as they continue, because you can see that they're actually like pushing well beyond what they're supposed to be doing.
All their weapons are falling apart by the end.
Like at the end, he's just like a man in a mask, and he's just naked, but he's still standing there. And his boxer's like, I'm not stopping. And that's those kind of like moments that are just so good.
God, the final button mash.
Oh, save the Earth.
And you look into the robot, and what are they doing?
Oh, they're mashing with you. It's great. I love Wonderful 101. Where are we putting it on the list?
Where do you put it, Nolan?
I'm gonna have to put it. As much as I love it, I feel like it goes below Shadows, and that's only because it being stuck to the Wii U for so long.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
If it was like if they made this on like a bigger console, it would have been a lot better. But
It's also some of the Wii U gimmicks I think detract from it.
yeah,
Like the drawing was very much like for the Wii U, but I also kind of hate it.
yeah,
Like if I could just switch styles, I think that game was just way better.
yes,
Even like I
Yeah.
like the Pikmin-esque like tiny and gathering your stuff. I think that's cool. It's just the drawing my weapon every time is a little annoying.
It's annoying. If I could just hit a button and it switches to something.
Yeah, if I can just go boom, boom, boom,
Mhm.
like all right, then I think it would make it a lot better. But
Yeah.
it's still cool. All right, my number 3. So if Soul Calibur 2, in my opinion, is the best fighting game, then I need to talk about the best strictly role-playing game, and that is Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas is incredible. It is an incredible video game. I love everything about it. It is one of those weird, like janky games you would see on like Mandalore, but it's playable. Even though it's like buggy, like the game is playable. There's so many like decisions and talkings to and reverberations. It's a huge open world, but I actually like exploring it because there's stuff there. And also like the barrenness goes with like the post-apocalyptic settings. But there's just it's like it checkpoints you so well. It doesn't level scale like all the other Bethesda games, so there's like actually getting your character stronger makes it good instead of like in Oblivion and Skyrim where you get progressively weaker as the game goes on because all the enemies just get stronger and you're just like, what am I doing? Or
That
like
sucks.
or like in this one, like, yo, you could go straight to New Vegas, but you got to go through that Deathclaw Valley, and they're rough. Or you go,
You can get through it. It's going to be tough.
it's going to be rough, but you can do it, and it's cool. I love that there's so many like permutations on like dealing with factions and characters where you can like align with the good guys, align with the bad guys, align with Walt Disney, make it yourself.
Align with yourself and steal all that gold.
Oh man, it's so cool. And it's like and the choices like reverberate and they go through the wasteland and it's cool. And I like that game. I like that it's playable even though like right, it's modded and held together with duct tape. But
The most stable Bethesda game.
I wouldn't even say that. But I would say it's like it's to me it's like the promise of what those games are supposed to be where you're in this big world and there's something kind of cool around every corner. And
Oh, sorry. I have a quick question for Nolan. Nolan, do you put Wonderful 101 below Shadow and above Breath of the Wild or below Breath of the Wild 2?
Above Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I think it's only because that game somewhat succeeded that we had a Switch.
Seriously. Yeah. Sorry, Kevin.
oh no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm basically also I played through Fallout New Vegas like twice.
Yeah. I also like all the different factions and stuff in the game.
Oh, it's radical. And like
Like,
how
I love Caesar's Legion. That's like the coolest idea
it's
for any sort of Fallout game.
it's like in stuff you do like how the final boss of Caesar's Legion can be defeated if you have a high enough like barter skill where you can tell the guy his supply lines aren't gonna work and he will lose. And the guy looks at you and goes, "You're right." Like you don't have to fight the final boss if you invested your points in barter because you could tell him with your words, "No, it's not gonna work."
It reminds me of Fallout 2, where you can just talk to the master and be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, dude, your stuff doesn't work. your plan's gonna fall apart.
And there's so many points in that game where like
I
you can
love
use a
that.
skill to like talk to people or do something or like, hey, do this.
God.
And I like how the skills, like even if they're not incredibly hyper useful, can like come into play. So like if you made your guy really good at unarmed fighting, like normally, like yeah, that might not be the best, but when you go into the Las Vegas casinos that take away all your weapons, they can't take away your fist. So you can walk up to Benny and punch him to death.
So where do you put it, Kevin?
I'm putting it. I think I'm gonna like I'm probably gonna put it below, because it is like if it wasn't as janky as it is, I'd put it way near the top. But I'm gonna put it underneath Wonderful 101.
So above Breath of the Wild.
Yep, because that kind of goes with like I think personally it's my kind of open world.
Yeah.
Like that's the open world game that appeals to me, so I'm gonna put.
It's also like a revolutionary open world game.
Yeah, it's still talked about. Like Bethesda has not made a better. Even Obsidian has not made a better game than Fallout New Vegas.
Oh no!
I'm gonna say it straight. I played Outer Worlds.
Yeah,
that game is not as good as Fallout New Vegas.
Man, what a game with a great start and just starts falling apart at the end.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
I gotta go, guys. So
all
later
right,
days.
I gotta go too. Later days. Bye.
All right.